This is a review of the Uniden iGo 320 action camera. This action camera is quite small and will fit nicely on your windshield without taking up too much space. It has its own internal battery. Once charged, you can then remove the camera from your car and film anything outside the car. The camera itself is capable of recording HD video footage. It also has infrared LEDs that are outside on the camera, so that if you needed to record anything at night time outside of the car, then you could. Not too good if you're recording whilst driving, it won't be very effective at all, it's only for close-up things. It's got the ability for motion sensing to automatically start recording, and a G sensor, so if you're in an accident it'll automatically lock your files. So in this box it comes with various cables. They are a USB Type A to USB Mini B lead, a windshield suction mount, a 12-volt cigarette lighter to plug it in when you're in the car, a user manual, and of course the iGo 320 camera. The camera itself boasts an array of soft touch buttons. You've got a up menu, down, a mode button, a lock button to lock files, and an OK button. There's also an LED to let you know when it's charging, a USB port for charging, a power button, on the side a micro SD card slot, underneath we have a reset button in case the camera malfunctions, and a microphone. On the front you have an array of 6 infrared LEDs and the camera, and the top boasts the mount for the windshield suction cap. I'm using a 16GB Type 4 micro SD card. The user manual states it's compatible with up to 32GB SD card, and as long as it's a class 4 or better it'll work. Depending if you have it on camera mode or video mode, the options in the menu will change. These are the options for pictures. Capture mode, single 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Resolutions for taking still images. From 3 megapixel you can do VGA, 1.3, 12, 10, all in different resolutions. I'm just going to leave it as the default, which is 5 megapixels. Sequence on or off. Just leave that off. Quality fine, normal, economy. Sharpness normal, soft, strong. White balance, auto, daylight, cloudy, tungsten, fluorescent. Color normal, black and white, sepia. Don't know why you'd want to do them, maybe if you're doing some sort of photo. ISO 100, 200, 400, and auto. EV, so you can go to -2 to +2. So leave it at 0. Anti-shaking on or off. Quick review off, 2 seconds, 5 seconds. Date stamp, if you'd like that displayed on your pictures. To get into the advanced menu, you hit the menu button twice. You can set the date and time. You can change your year, month, date format around if you choose to. You can go year, month, day, year, or day, month, year. Auto power off, 1 minute, 3 minutes. Your languages: English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, Italiano, and some of your Asians, Russian, Korea. Light frequency in hertz, 50 hertz or 60 hertz. Screensaver off, 3 minutes, 5, 10 minutes. Image rotation on or off, so if you've got it mounted upside down you can. Format the SD card as an option. And firmware version. This is in video mode, and when you hit that menu button it'll give the option for video. So the options, you've got resolution, loop recording, EV, so again goes from -2 to +2. Motion detection, on or off. Audio, on or off. Date stamp, on or off. G sensor. Key tone, so you can turn off that beep. And that's it for those options. The advanced options have the same as the camera taking picture mode. So put it into motion capture mode, so when it detects motion it will automatically start recording, and it will record for about 12 seconds and then stop if it doesn't see any more motion. So you can activate the LEDs by holding down the power button very briefly, and you'll see this icon here displayed. The LEDs are now on. Turn them off. So the camera can be configured so that when power is applied, such as your ignition, it'll automatically turn on and start recording, as you can see here. Turning off the camera, you can either remove the power and it will turn off after a few minutes, depending on what settings you've got, or you can hold down the power key and it will shut down. When you are recording, if you push the lock icon, it will create a lock symbol in there, a key symbol, and it will lock that recording so you can't accidentally delete it, or it can't erase over the top of it when it does its loop back recording. Video resolution 1080p will record on 16 gigabytes, 1 hour and 48 minutes. Resolution of 1080p is 1 hour and 48 minutes. So 720 is 1 hour 57. WVGA is 2 hours and 15. VGA at 640 by 480 is 2 hours and 41. And QJ 320 by 240 is 3 hours and 19. 1080 FHD at 24 frames. 1080p at 24 frames. And 720p, which comes out at 30 frames per second. So the actual installation, I've placed it up at the top here with the suction cap, and it's nice and tucked away behind the mirror, so as a driver it's not distracting. The cable for it runs underneath the trim, and I've tucked it in under here. It actually goes in through where the door joins on. So it's nice and discreet, you can't even notice it's in the car, and it's tucked under all these panels and then comes up to here. This footage was recorded at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun's out, it's quite bright, and the camera does make a really good effort picking up all the details. As I'm driving it around, it's not too difficult to make out most of the number plates. The maximum recording segments that you can do for the video recording is 3 minutes. So that means every 3 minutes it creates a new video file. Coming up in a moment is a join between one video file and the next, which automatically happens seamlessly in the background, but it just appears in the folder as 2 files or more. And the join's coming up in 3, 2, 1, now. So it happens quite seamlessly with no duplication or dropping of frames. So the video quality during the daytime is not too bad. You can pick up most details and it's quite bright. The audio quality isn't the best. The microphone doesn't pick up the best audio signal when recording, but that's not really what it's designed for. So this is what the actual microphone sounds like. So as you can see, during the day it is quite good. It will pick up a lot of detail and you'll be able to see everything that's going around. Quite a nice viewing angle, and it doesn't seem to distort the image too much. sound quality of the microphone isn't the best type, but as you can hear from my voice, it isn't too bad. And with the CD player turned on, you can still pick up the differences in my voice and the sound. Going undercover, we'll be able to notice the difference as the light adjusts for the exposure levels.
So driving out from under the cover car park to the daylight sun, the exposure quickly changes back to something that's watchable and not overexposed or underexposed. So it's quite responsive.
So just driving along here during the day, this is what this part of the road looks like. There's no street lights along it until you get further along. So at night this part will be quite dark, and I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. It's 7 PM now. I've changed the resolution to 720p to get the higher frame rate. So the sun is now set.
I would recommend using the camera with the motion detection off and the video recording set to 720. The reason for this is the motion recording off is because it will stop recording when you're driving and you won't capture all the footage. And 720 seems to be a more native resolution for the camera, and it doesn't drop frames. It stays at a nice 30 frames per second as opposed to a jittery 24.
So this is the darkened street I was talking about before. There's no more street lights here around this bend. So you can see it's pretty dark. This is just normal beams. This is now high beams. And back to normal.
And that about wraps up my Uniden iGo 320 dashcam review. Hopefully you've got a bit out of it and seen what the camera can do. Overall, I bought this camera for less than $40 from Officeworks, and I think it's a really good buy. It picks up enough detail at night to get by, and daytime is brilliant. It's got a nice wide-angled lens. It's a small size that fits nicely on your dash or your windscreen, and you can put a micro SD card in there, such as this, with the 16GB, and it works fine. I recommend this camera if you're in the market for a cheap dashcam that's less than $50. Thank you for watching.